Hi. Oh my goodness, you guys, the energy is real today. Now, this masterclass will go this entire week, and when it's over, it will be getting repackaged and sold as a piece of intellectual property. So, what I'm about to say is going to kind of like timestamp it and date it, which is slightly against the rules, but I don't mind at all. We are on the day of the longest day of the year. It's the summer solstice, and the energy is huge. The energy today is huge. Is there anyone else who's watching live who is feeling big energy today? Like, you guys, I woke up this morning and I was already buzzing with excitement about this content, about what we were going to talk about today. I am someone who does, when I teach a masterclass, I basically am open to the divine messages that want to come through, the inspiration. And this morning I woke up and instantly I had like boom, 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 like all these thoughts come through. And so you will actually see me using notes today because I don't want to miss anything. It's going to be so rich, so amazing, so fun. We have 5 days together. And I'm so happy that you're here. Welcome everyone who's live. Now, before we get started, thank you for the compliment on my hair. I went back to my natural. I kept on seeing it in visions that I went back to my natural hair color, so I did it. So as we are live today, I just want to bring the energy in so huge on our very first day together and just tell you how it's going to roll. So here's the vibe. We will be live Monday through Friday. Every single day is going to be completely different masterclass module. Day 1, which is what we're in right now, is for every woman. So if you are not in business, you have no interest really in having a business, branding is not really your vibe, worry not, you are in the right spot because today is for every woman, business person or not. As we deepen the context into the week, we're going to be talking about high-level intentional branding stuff. And it's to the level that when this masterclass is over, it's getting remastered, repackaged, and sold for $555. So if you are someone who's interested in building an intentional brand online, you will want to be present for every single day, all the way through Friday, because we're going to be actually teaching a true masterclass every single day. Now, on the back end of every single masterclass, I'm going to be talking about ways that you can deepen the context and actually work with me. If you know that it's not for you, feel free to shut me off and just come for the content, because the content is going to be next level amazing. And that's how every single day is going to go. So what you're not here for is like an old energy, masculine paradigm, old sales model, pitch fest. I'm truly going to teach you a class every single day. And today's is next level. Now, that being the case, a little bit of understanding of how Facebook groups work. There's a section in this group that's now called guides. It used to be called units. It's now called guides. Every single day, we're going to post the masterclass of that day up in the guides section. So if you're somebody who is needing to come back and catch things on replay, or if you're someone who wants to rehear the content over and over again, but you want to like know which day it happened, you're going to want to utilize the guides section. Also in the guide section, if there's any pertinent links, if there's any, anything that we mentioned that you need a link for, go ahead and check the guide section. Third thing that you need to know is there's also events. At the very top of this group, there's an event section. It's going to tell you what time we go live every day. You can mark yourself going. You'll get a notification, all the vibes. Now that you know where all the daily deets are, this is the fun part. I love prizes. I love giveaways. I love juicy ones. So during this container, during this 5-day masterclass, we are going to do several drawings. The drawing that's dropping tomorrow is worth a value of $555. It includes some IP. It includes some physical objects. You want it. Just trust me, you want in on it. The way that you can get your name into this drawing that's taking place, tomorrow is our first drawing, is that there is already inside this group, there is a little graphic that has the Mainstream Fame Masterclass info on it, and it says, I'm in. There's instructions on how to share it in our welcome post. But basically, I have a vision of this group growing during this week. I have a feeling that once you hear the content that we talk about today, you're going to think of a girlfriend or a bestie or a cousin or someone who's like top of mind for you, that you're like, I wish that girl was here. Like for this free masterclass, I wish my friend could have heard this. I want to discuss this with my friend. I want more women to think like this. And so that being the case, when you share that I'm in graphic and tell people like your big takeaway or like what you thought was great about this class, with the link for them to join, that is how your name goes in the 555 drawing. So those are the little things that you should know getting into our masterclass this week. Every single day will be different. Today is for everybody. And I think I'm ready to get started. So comments are my currency. If you guys have an aha moment, a big flashing aha moment, or something clicks for you, or you're like, oh, I've always thought that, but I never knew how to say it, or something just really lands home with you today, write it in the comments. Like speak up in the comments. I love interaction. It's literally my personal currency. Like connecting with you guys is my personal currency. Second thing is, I love me some emojis. So again, if comments are my currency, I would say emojis are my love language. Like feel free if something blows you away to heart me up, like love bomb me, like bomb me, hit the wow button. I'm not a huge fan of the angry face just because I'm like, why are you mad? And my personal favorite emoji is the lightning bolt. So there's a ton of my people in here and they know that. So they're already dropping lightning bolts. Thank you to my girls who know me. You know me. So I feel ready. If you feel ready, drop me some lightning bolts in the comments. We have some amazingness to get through and I'm ready to freaking fly. I'm ready. If you're ready, let's go. So today's class, module number 1 of Mainstream Fame, is for every woman. In business or not, doesn't matter. Today's class is for every single woman. It'll be empowering in a way that I've never understood beauty and power like this, I don't think, in my entire life, and I'm so ready to share it with you. It will be empowering for you as a female. It should be educational. The level that I am bringing today is a master class. It is a hybrid between my expertise as a business consultant, marketing genius, and also celebrity makeup artist. So you are going to be educated today. It should be inspiring and it should be pretty eye-opening to you. If you are here for that, I am here for that. My hope today is that I will get to reframe beauty for you. Reframe beauty for you. Beauty, a word that has been made the enemy. It has been made non-inclusive. It has been made toxic. It has been made a villain. And today I truly get to reframe beauty for you in a way that awakens sensuality, intention, luxury, a soul type of experience for you. This is how I experience beauty. And it's been challenging to bring that to the mass market. And today is the day. So for today and tomorrow, that is going to be our context. It's going to be a little woo. It's going to be scientific. It's going to be deep. And I will say on days 3 through 5, so Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we will be discussing intentionality around a luxury brand. If you're someone who sells really anything, anywhere, it's going to be good for you to be here. If you are interested in curating a luxury brand, 3 through 5, day 3 through 5 are going to be so amazing for you. If you want this information to hit you in the bank account, day 3 through 5 is going to be really good for you. Anybody who wants the bank account, you can just hashtag bank account. Okay, so we're going to be discussing on days 3 through 5 intentionality around luxury brands. And the whole context of this class is about you as a walking piece of art. Magnetizing connection, power, relationship. But for today, whether you're in business or not, today is going to be 100% for you. So to give you a little bit of context on why this message is huge for me, I will say this. A lot of you know me as a business consultant. A lot of you know me as a makeup artist. I am both. My husband and I launched a beauty-based brand with over 200 successful cosmetic launches over the course of, 4 or 5 years. We broke the $1 million marker organically with our cosmetic brand. And also, last year, something shifted for me dramatically, and I think it's so worth speaking about. The way that beauty, luxury, but mostly beauty, is presented in the consumer market right now and how it was presented last year, to me is very surface level, lacking depth. It's very materialistic. It's a very low frequency, the way that it's presented to the consumer world. And it stands in stark contrast to the way that I think everywhere else in life. I love you guys. I love your comments, by the way. I love them so much. How beauty is presented in the consumer world, it stands in stark contrast to the woman that I've evolved into in the last year. Even though it could have made me a lot of money, I got very bored of posting things like makeup palettes. The way that you're going to learn today that beauty is spoken on in the consumer world for women, to be fair, I used to speak like this. If I'm completely honest, I used to push the beauty message into the market from the perspective that you are about to learn in like 4 seconds. Marketing class coming through. And it just stopped resonating for me. It felt like pulling teeth. I handed off so much of our beauty brand to my team in my office. I just said, you know what? Breathe some fresh life into this, do some photo shoots, like let's rebrand our videos. I just handed it off and I was like, I cannot speak about makeup. I cannot talk about beauty this way. I needed to pause. I needed to pause and I needed to evolve. I needed to heal. I needed to forgive the way that things were taught to me, how to market, and I needed to let it go. And I needed to come at it with a fresh perspective. And ladies, you're in it right now. You are in the evolved way of thinking about beauty. So today, what I want you to be equipped with is the knowledge of your power. Your power. Everyone who's available to type, can you type the words power versus force? Can you please put that in the comments? Because that is a key principle today. If you can write in the comments, write power versus force. I want you to remember those words. There is an undeniable connection between beauty and power, and it's probably not what you think it's going to be. It is scientific, it is measurable, it is emotional, it is energetic, and it is not the vanity that is being put into the global market. This is a very different type of power. So power versus force, I want you to have those words in your brain. Today, leaving this class, I want you to be completely in a different understanding of your power as a woman and a portal to it that you may not have considered. Today, I also want you to exit this conversation with an understanding of your framework for making decisions. How do you decide? From the little things to the big things in life, from what framework are you saying yes, no, or maybe? How do you decide? It's a deep question. We're going to get into it. My desire is that you would learn to make empowered decisions from an energetic standpoint. And if that sentence made zero sense to you, it's okay. It's about to come together. Making empowered decisions from an energetic standpoint. So, to fully understand what I just said, because that sentence was maybe weird for some people and that's fully okay, I'm here for it. This is a masterclass. I'm going to teach you what that means. To fully understand that concept and why beauty is an ideal that I personally live by. Like, I want to look at beautiful things around me, like you see on my little tchotchkes behind me, my little glass balls, my little beads, my lanterns, my delicious candle, like I have a jade tree, agates, like I want to look at beautiful things. I want to wear delicious jewelry. I want beautiful things that fill up my home. I want to feel beauty. I love nature. I go for nature walks like literally every day. Barring horrific weather, I go outside every day because I want to see. I'm so stimulated by the five senses. I want to smell the rain. I want to see what's available. I want to enjoy it. Like, I literally want to eat it with my eyes. I love beautiful things. Beauty is a core tenet of my existence. It's natural that I would have become an artist. It's natural that I would want to talk about makeup because then you become a living, walking piece of art. It's natural that I would advocate for women to to purchase luxury items for their homes and ditch this hardcore budget mentality that's been shoved down women's throats and like enjoy themselves. It's counterintuitive. It's actually quite counterculture to admit and say that you love beauty, you seek beauty, and you will spend on beauty, and you will put beauty everywhere that you go. So just hold that understanding, like to fully understand that concept of making empowered decisions from an energetic standpoint. You also have to recognize that beauty is an ideal that I live by. So if you don't live by that ideal and you don't find that beauty is important, this is not necessarily going to land with you the same. But where are my people that when you see a sunset, it's like you have to look out the window. You want to step out on the patio, like you want to drink it. Where are my people that they like need to go to the woods? They need to go to the ocean. Like they need to have their house like feel a certain way. Like the softness of a room, the smell of a flower, like the light from a candle it will like turn you on, turn everything on for you. Where are those people? Because if you connect to any of those statements, you're in the right space and like you will understand what I'm about to say differently. Beauty is an ideal that I live, I breathe, I stand for. And to back it up, I actually want to present two pieces of evidence that speak to the power of beauty. The first one I'm going to brush on is called the energetic scale of emotions. The second one is the sales model, old school, as we know it. And once you can connect these two puzzle pieces, you will be able to make decisions from a completely different standpoint for the rest of your life. So empowering. So the two pieces of evidence to back beauty as power and the correlation between the two. One is called the energetic scale of emotions. You may want to Google it after this. Maybe my team can post a picture of it afterwards. But basically, scientists have found that human emotions register on a scale energetically. They give off an actual scientific frequency. Your feelings are measurable by science. Isn't that crazy? The very low emotions that people can feel, like the worst feelings that you can feel, the feeling when someone dies, the feeling when you are disappointed, the feeling when you lose something big for you, sadness, depression, all these feelings that are very low on the scale, they register like under 100 on the scale. Scale goes from like a 0 to about 1,000. So the very, very lowest feelings on the scale, like the sub 100 feelings, the sub 150 feelings, they're referred to as the inert emotions because their energetic frequency is so compacted and contracted and small that people literally, when they feel these feelings, they have a hard time even moving. I know everyone here can think of a moment in their life that was just so thick, challenging emotionally that like you would love to just curl up on the couch or perhaps stay in bed. It's like the feeling is so heavy that your body feels inert. Like you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't even move. Like I cannot find the will. We've all felt that at some point in our life. These are the heavy emotions, and they're the lowest on the scale. Then there's mid-range emotions. It's interesting, like mid-range emotions, once you pass like about 160, which is anger, then you get into all the very masculine paradigm emotions. And the masculine paradigm emotions, they're doing emotions, they're activated emotions, they are forceful emotions. When you think about words like force, willpower, routine, structure, discipline, fixing things, these are all in the mid-range on the energetic scale, and they're not bad. Both men who are very masculine and women who operate with more of a masculine-led persona, they are known for fixing things. Like they're the ones that can be like so counted on. When there's a problem, masculine-led people often rise to the occasion and fix it. They fix it fast. So what I'm not saying is I'm not saying that masculinity is the issue. Let me be very clear. Masculinity is not bad. It's not the issue. But what I will say is everything that's like below 160 on the scale, they're very contracted feelings. They're sad. They're inert, they're depressed types of feelings. Then you get into very masculine-led feelings where people are action takers and they do, and they force. Remember that word force? And then once you get over about 500 to 1,000 on the scale is when magic happens. We'll talk more about that in just a second because the balance of all of it is amazing. But what I want you to understand is when I was talking about this class coming up, when I was speaking about mainstream fame coming live, I talked about the old school paradigm of marketing things to people. I call it the patriarchal sales model. I'm a little bit anti the patriarchy. If you don't know what the patriarchy is, follow me. So the old school paradigm of how beauty was sold to people, how courses were sold to people, how houses were sold to people, how everything was sold to people. It was a patriarchal sales model. What I mean by that is that for decades and decades and decades, men and masculine energy held the power. Women and feminine energy-led humans were largely excluded from it. So the men knew best, and the masculine-led women who adopted that thought process, they knew best. And largely the message has been, if you look like this, if you behave like this, little girl, if you talk like this, if you perform like this in school, if you do what we tell you, we, the patriarchy, will give you a little treat, like Pavlov's dog. Like, here's a little treat, a pat on the head for good behavior. And that went from the educational system to the religious system. Like, how many of you guys can see it in like old ways of faith? Like, the women better look like, act like, sit like, dance like, not dance like, wear their hair like, show up like this. And if you do, you get a nice little pat on the head, little girl. The medical model, full of it. Doctor knows best, silly girl. And the way that we are marketed to is the same. What do you know? We're the experts. You just give us your money and trust us because we know what's best for you. That to me is the patriarchal marketing mentality. And I'm very pleased to announce that people are waking up to it. I am surrounded by women who are waking up to it. I'm surrounded by women in business and I have chills down my arms thinking about it. It's like they're like done talking like that to people, making people feel small and contracted. They're just done with it and they're choosing a different way of approaching life, parenting, their bodies, and their businesses. They're like done being manipulated and they're done manipulating. This has been my healing journey in the last year of recognizing that, holy crap, I was a full-blown manipulator. And that's what I thought you did when you sold. And I walked through a lot of forgiveness and forgiveness of myself for what I didn't know and for like treating people that way. It's been a huge evolution. And this is why the way that I used to speak about cosmetics and my beauty brand, it just stopped resonating. I was like, I cannot talk to women like this. We have to speak differently. We have to approach things differently. The world is changing. People are awakening. There's a mass spiritual awakening on our planet where love is coming back into power. It's astonishing. I think it's the opposite of what was intended for this season, and I'm loving it. One of our viewers said, did it make you start to feel fake? You know what? It wasn't a fake feeling. It was just boredom. And I tell a lot of my consulting clients and my coaching clients on the business side of things that like when you feel bored of something, it's a beautiful sign that you've outgrown it. Like a lack of desire and a boredom around a topic, it's like, okay, I think we've outgrown this. I'm no longer interested. It's time for a shift. And I felt the shift coming and I went hardcore after the shift. I love that this is resonating with you guys. I love it. So instead of feeling fake, I just said, I'm just not going to talk about this. And I chose to talk about in mass, I talked about sales and marketing last year, and I led a lot of people to make a lot of money, and it was very fun because I'm okay at that too. Yeah. So what I want to point out to you on this energetic scale, and now that you're understanding like the patriarchal, the old school way of marketing, that's really, people are evolving out of it, thank God. Like my mentor always says, like, I pray it stops working so people stop doing it. But for the meantime, like those who are resonating with this, like we're the cutting edge right now. And it's so fun to be on the cutting edge, isn't it? So fun to know this stuff. Someone said, how do you go after the shift? I got mentored around it. Like I went after healing. I got mentorship, and I had someone who was doing it the way that I wanted to do it, show me how to do it, how to think, how to approach things, how to stop manipulating. It was amazing. And this is how I teach. So what I want you to see is that most of the old school paradigm of like sales and marketing, from the images that they use, the commercials that are out there, to the verbal patterning, the linguistics, okay? They are either pointed at people who are around a frequency of 125. This is psychological fact. It is documented. It is marketing fact. Most modern marketing is pointed at people who are living around 125 in their energetic frequency, in their emotions. If they're not there, if they're not living around 125, feelings like fear, worry, not good enough, compulsion, lack, and need. So if they aren't already there and being targeted by mainstream marketing, what mainstream marketing's goal is to put them there so that they can be marketed to and easily manipulated. So if you're sad or concerned or in fear, if you feel less than confident, if you have some body image issues, if you feel need, if you feel like you're not enough, feel nervous, you are primed for most mainstream marketing. If you don't feel that way, they're here to remind you that you are a piece of hot garbage and you should be afraid and you should be nervous and you should definitely listen to the expert on the other side of the commercial or the ad. It's gross, huh? This is marketing the old way. Imagine that I was 100% taught to remind women of their inadequacies and their pain points so that they would buy makeup. Holy crap, did that stop resonating? It's not empowering. It's not healing. It's not good. This was my wake-up call, and I stopped really marketing makeup for over a year. We did a beta test of a course called Confidence on Command, and when it was over, I stopped talking makeup. We got amazing results, and I was like, this whole message needs to change. Okay. So I want to expand on this a little bit and ask you, like, okay, the psychology of sales. 2020 happened last year. Obviously, we're in 2021 for this program. This program may be sold for many years to come, but I want to point something out. From the moment that you woke up in the morning, you were hearing things that were scary, confusing, disempowering. Some people lost income, lots of uncertainty, and lack. You are primed. You are primed when you are literally being pushed into that energetic frequency. You're primed to be manipulated. So in the year 2020, I saw what was happening to my women. And I also recognized that women needed to be empowered more now than ever. So I shifted to speaking on women building wealth and showing them how to do that online. That was very important to me because a lot of people came up against financial hardships. They had to get creative. They had to know how to present themselves and kind of compete in the global market because now everybody was on Zoom and Facebook and Instagram. And I was like, okay, so I can definitely help there. And I also started teaching on energetics, programs like Rev Chill and Iconic, places that healed families and helped relationships in a very strange year. I wanted women empowered emotionally to make very empowered decisions from a strong energetic standpoint. So if you're someone who went through one of those programs and you had a massive evolution in your life approach, feel free to say something like #iconic in the comments, because it was my focus for last year. So me knowing that women needed to be empowered more now than ever because of the shifts in our economy and our lives, it only made sense to start speaking more deeply on these topics. But what happened is that with that old sales paradigm like not resonating with me anymore, and the feeling of talking about beauty from that old perspective not really resonating anymore, what I observed in myself was that my ideas about beauty, my craving for sensory experiences, for sensual experiences, the fact that I was willing to buy myself, $500 worth of tchotchkes in my background, or wear beautiful makeup, or encourage women to tap into their sensuality and spend money on themselves and make their house feel more beautiful, more energetically sound. I wondered a little bit whether I knew the old paradigm was not how I wanted to talk, but I kind of wondered if the way that I wanted to present beauty would even resonate with people, because there was so much pain. There's so many people who watch content and they kind of have this moment of saying, like, when they see luxury items or they see someone, spending a lot of money or doing beautiful things for themselves, if that viewer has denied themselves the experiences of pleasure, of luxury, of beauty, it's very easy to look at someone who is tapping into sensuality, femininity, self-expression, treating themselves to beautiful experiences. And it's very easy to pass a quick judgment and say, like, who do you think you are? It can be even more riveting and activating, maybe not in the best way, when I tell women that I truly believe every woman on the planet can look like the cover of a magazine, and that beauty, luxury, power, sensuality, it's all accessible, and that you're allowed. You're allowed to self-express. You're allowed to be a walking piece of art. You're allowed to give yourself gorgeous experiences. You're allowed to be a temple, a walking temple. Literally worshipful, devoted. Your personal care is your devotion. It's a ritual. And I kind of just went, Xtina, this is probably not going to land real hot with a lot of people. But something that my mentor said to me, really, if this is an issue for you and you really want to have an empowering thought around it, my mentor said to me, there are enough voices in the world that if someone doesn't like what I have to say, they can shut me off. That's number one. But I won't be the one that shuts me off. That's number two. And I was like, okay, so I can speak about beauty and luxury and women's empowerment and feminine magic and money and wealth, and my body as a temple. I can speak on women's empowerment the way that I truly want to, because if someone is really that bothered, they're welcome to shut me off and look for another voice, but it won't be me that shuts me off. Okay, I can get with that. And then what she also said to me very recently on a one-to-one call that I found so empowering, and I want to share it for any of you who are kind of stifling your next level evolution, like your powerful self that wants to come through. It's this. She said, people can be mad at me when I tell them that this life is accessible, and maybe they've had a lot of evidence that tells them otherwise. They've had a lot of evidence that says that things have to be hard and that life is painful and that they are not beautiful and they will never have love and they will never have money, they will never have wealth, and they will never be mainstream famous. That's only for the special people. There's so many women that they've had a lot of evidence, more evidence than they would have preferred to experience in this lifetime, that tells them that things aren't fair and life is hard and this is not accessible for them. And my message around beauty, about wealth, luxury, sensuality, is that it's 100% accessible. And what she told me is, she said, people can be mad at me because they don't know any better. Their evidence tells them the opposite of what I'm saying, and they don't know any better. But I'm not mad at them because I do know better. I will not be the one that turns off the machine. So today, the machine is turned on. And we are going full blast, and there's more. If this has resonated so far, throw me some lightning bolts, because I have some more for you. If this is landing, throw me some lightning bolts. I got more. And I cannot believe that there are 56 of you live right now. You are blowing my mind. I love having you here. You're just making my afternoon. I'm so happy to have you. You have no idea. Okay. So I asked myself this question, like, would beauty through the lens, not of lack, not of you're ugly so you need it, not of you're going to be not loved if you don't have it. Like, if I could shift the way that people think about beauty and instead put it through the lens, like eyeglasses, like put it through the lens of luxury and art, intentionality, sensuality, and I don't just mean sex. I asked myself, would this message even land with anyone? Or would they say, like, Xtina, you are on another planet. Enjoy Planet Tchotchke. All my tchotchkes in the background. Enjoy your hour in morning at the makeup table, because it seems like that's what you probably do. And your weird walks in the woods, and you're a freak. I was like, is this going to land? Are people going to care? Is anyone going to relate to this at all? And after a year of being quiet on the topic, I, along with literally hundreds of other women who I've encountered who think like this, are proof positive that yes, it does land. You guys are cracking me up. He said, I'll join your planet. I'm a freak too. Okay. I have tears. You're cracking me up. Yes, those weird walks. I literally go for like sometimes 7 miles in the woods and just connect. So we've talked about like all the strange ways that people market, and they're kind of not working anymore. People are waking up to the manipulation. They're waking up that like, oh my God, like people want me to feel like hot garbage and not enough. And the way that people sell things is like very manipulative. It's like, if you don't already feel like crap, we're going to make you feel like crap. And then we are going to be your definite answer. Trust us. We're the experts. Buy it. Like, people are waking up to that and they're going like, I actually felt great until I watched that commercial. And now I feel not so great. Or I felt actually really sexy and good today until I saw that ad. And now I feel like less than competitive. I don't know. I'm having like FOMO. Okay. So the energetic flip side to that way of selling, that way of everything that I just described, the full-on opposite of it, the opposite of people buying from insecurity, the opposite of people buying from a lack-driven place. Like, oh my God, if I don't buy this, I'm never going to be good enough. I'm never going to have a good life if I don't buy this thing. The opposite of buying from a place of desperation or like a needy basis. The full-on energetic opposite of that is expansion. Spiritual and emotional expansion. Ascension up that scientific scale that I described. So you already know that on the lowest level, it's like a conical shape. It's like a cone. Like the very contracted, low, like upset feelings, the crap feelings are at the bottom. And then mid-range, you get the very masculine emotions. And trust me, like entire nations have been built on this mid-range of the cone. It's like not quite very contracted. It's a little expanded. They get a lot of things done. Entire nations have been built on masculine energy. It's not the enemy. But when you go a little bit higher in the cone, it expands outward. And that expansion outward represents all of these beautiful things in spirituality. It represents your connection to your God, connection to the divine, connection to like your higher power that's not just you. It represents unconditional love. It represents peace and happiness, creativity and joy. So a lot of our power actually comes from going up that scale, ascending, and experiencing the sensual. It's the opposite of what our society wants women to do with their time. Just want you to think through a concept really quickly. Would anyone agree that we live in a society where women are kind of pitted against men? Like, I can be as strong as you, I can outperform you, I can make as much money as you. Like, it's like this proving energy that women are powerful. Would anyone agree with that? When you're so busy proving yourself, when do you have time to be sensual? Where's there space for you to be a woman when you're proving how much income you can make, how tough you can be, how many plates you can spin? And when you're done proving yourself all day long and making the money and doing all the things and showing how manly you can be, then you come home and there's screens. So I strongly feel that the agenda is that we work hard and then we come home and we check out. This is the spiritual disconnect of the century. If they can keep you busy and then they can keep you distracted, you will not tap in to your magic as a woman. Your 5 senses. The feeling of touching your partner, of hugging your kids. The eye contact. How many of us are this with our families? Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, cool. Would rather have Netflix on than a conversation. Don't even taste our food. Like, do you even notice the trees outside? When's the last time that you thought about the wind or the smell of the rain? My husband told me I'm kind of like an alien today. He's like, you're different, right? The fact that you can just wake up in the morning and open up and go, like, ideas come in and they just come to you. He's like, that's not normal, right? And I'm like, but it should be. It should be. We should all be able to tap in like that. And it starts, in my opinion, with sensuality. Having beautiful things around us, living as art. Our homes are art. We are art. Art is such a high frequency. It's such a high frequency. It's like this conical shape of the energetic frequencies that are scientifically documented. The higher frequencies are above 500, and you guys, the portal starts with art. Like, this never made sense to me until like literally the last 48 hours. The portal to next level empowerment, connection to the divine, like your next huge business ideas. Like, guys, it starts with art. I literally have the frequencies listed in like 4 seconds. I'll get to it a little bit longer. I have like a couple more things to teach you, but like, the portal opens at art. Just write that in the comments. The portal opens with art. The portal opens with art. My mom is watching live right now, and she said, you have always been very artistic and beautifully different. And I think that I shut off that piece of me that is art. And I think that it was the disconnect. And that's why this particular message was so powerful. And I've cried over it. Like, I've literally cried thinking about talking for an entire week about this and empowering women. Like, I've cried about it because I'm like, this is what's been missing for me. This was the missing piece. So I'd love to go like just a smidge woo. I'm a woo person. I'm really woo. I'd love to go just a little smidge woo. So yesterday was the, I believe, 3-year anniversary of the unexpected death of my first husband. I was not married to him when he passed away. My life had moved on. I was with Brad. And yet simultaneously, that day of my life, June 20th of 2018, cracked open a curiosity in me about life after death that has been insatiable. And one of the geniuses, the brilliant people who I study on this topic, who talk about from a Christian perspective, she's been a long-term Christian, and she teaches from like a Jesus perspective, but she studies death and spirituality as a science. And in one of her books, in one of her podcasts, she talks about the fact that the soul and the spirit come to this planet on an agreement. They get born, they get a body. And they come here to expand. To have a human, sensual experience. In her studies, in people who have like died and come back, she said that one of the common denominators is that on the other side, the experience of things like a hug, sex, and eating a sandwich don't feel the same when you're spirit form. So when we're on the other side and we're having the fun of dying, we miss a sandwich. We miss a hug. We miss the connection of sex. We miss all of the sensual. The spiritual wants to encounter the human senses. The human wants to connect with the spirit. And this is the paradigm that we bounce back and forth within in our lives. If you're so busy working and performing all the time, and then you come home and you look at a screen, when do you ever tap into the thing that you actually came here for? Expansion, the senses. I believe that this is part of the great awakening of our planet right now, is people realizing this. I'm not the only one. This is not a unique message. I'm in groups of women and they all know this. This is not unique. It's just we're on the leading edge. We're waking up. It's fascinating. So as women in a competitive, gender neutral, paternalistic, like behave this way, good girl society, we have literally all but had our sensuality, our feminine magic deprogrammed from us, including beauty being made an enemy. There's a lot out there right now saying that beauty is non-inclusive, that when one person has money, it means someone else doesn't. When one person is beautiful, it means that, natural beauty must not be good enough. When one person has a big house, it creates a lack mentality for someone else, that there isn't enough for them. And so the experience of beauty and living as art has actually been made an enemy. Because who are you to be so beautiful? I'm going to go really deep on that tomorrow, but I just want to open your mind to this. Our feminine, powerful, magical souls, our divine souls, they actually thrive. The portal is opened and they thrive off of creativity, imagination, art, the five senses. We get switched on by connection. We get switched on by beautiful art, because beauty and art, they, in the words of my friend Melissa Buffington, they're a universal language. Why can everyone go to the Louvre in Paris and just stand there for an hour? I went to the Louvre in Paris and I was like, my God. And there's dozens of different languages being spoken in the same room, and we're all standing around the same sculpture. Beauty is a universally connective language. It taps into a higher frequency of us that it transcends race. It transcends gender. It transcends language barriers. It's so powerful. It's the portal. Beauty is the portal. It is not a villain. It is the portal. It's the delicious moments. It's being fully present in our entire society. The agenda is anti that. Who do you think you are to treat yourself so well when there's suffering in the world? Who do you think you are to live in that house? Who do you think you are to buy all those lanterns and crystals and candles and tchotchkes? Who do you think you are to wear that, to say that, to spend that much time on self-care? Are you selfish? This is the message, and it couldn't be further from the truth. There's more science behind it to illustrate why. It's phenomenal. So let me kind of pull back the curtain, because my entire career, my entire life has been moment after moment after moment of divinely having the curtain pulled back for me. From first experiencing, being in these high level churches and having the curtain pulled back and me getting to see what was really happening behind the scenes and going like, wait a second, this is not what you put out to the masses, to then working in Hollywood and having the curtain pulled back because I was behind the scenes and me going like, this is not what it looks like to the general public. People don't know what's happening back here. They don't understand how politics and government and media and actors and athletes are all interwoven and how they're just mouthpieces for it. Wow. Pulling back the curtain. And now in my past year of life, it's been pulling back the curtain on decision making, personal autonomy, your ability to make a strong, empowered, spiritually, energetically sound decision for yourself from a place of power. That is so not the vibe in our current economy. If you are not afraid, if you're bold, if you know your worth, you're empowered, and you are living as art, you are not afraid to say anything. It's funny how like beautiful women get like such a bad rap of like being a B word or like a mean girl or whatever. And I'm like, how about if we reframed that entire personification and we were to say, what if the more personally expressed you are, there's a correlation with you looking and feeling the way that you want to look and feel, and you're no longer afraid to speak up because your confidence level is so high. What if you're not mean? What if you're just smart and strong and using your femininity in a previously masculine dominated world? Those Marilyn Monroe quotes that I put out there, like, I don't mind living in a paternalistic society. Do I think it's right? No. But if I get to be a woman in it, I don't mind. Follow me here. We make unaffected, non-persuaded, unmanipulatable, expansion-minded, evolved and ascended decisions for ourselves, for our next generations, for our communities, for our nations, when we personally resonate over 500 on that frequency scale of emotions. When you're over 500, again, scientifically documented, you stop being affected by other people. You become the temperature gauge in the room. You set the tone for everyone around you when you're over 500. Documented, Maharishi effect. Go look it up. When you are resonating at a very high frequency, other people's BS, their manipulations, their control, it stops working. This is another common myth as people go like, oh, like she became all spiritual and got weird. And like, thinks she knows everything. No, you literally are not manipulatable anymore. You can cut through the manipulation, sales tactics, the shadow boxing, the people making you feel like garbage or gaslighting you, like it stops working. It's very cool. And that line, that energetic line, is a frequency 500 or higher. So let me tell you the feelings associated with these frequencies. 475 is joy and creativity. When you are a piece of art from what you adorn your body with, the luxury items in your home, the candle, the soap, the oil, the food, the way you make love to your partner, the snuggles you give your babies. Like 475 is just breaking the ice. 505 is beauty and imagination. What's the cross section there? Creativity, beauty, and imagination, and joy. What is the cross section there? It's art. Art opens the portal. Check this out. So we just talked about 505 on the energetic scale. 510 is power. Power. Initiation and integrity. Remember that word power? Right above that is love. Intuition. What's intuition? When out of thin air, business ideas, books, your intuition, like, I need to get away from this person or I need to connect with this person. This is where I'm supposed to be for the next year. This is the move that I want to make and no one can talk me out of it. My intuition is like telling me to move. The portal there is art, beauty, appreciation is next up. 560 is humor and happiness. Like literally we live in a country where it's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And who do you know that's actually happy? Beauty and art are the portal that open. Just let that sink in. Let it sink in. It's scientifically backed that a person operating in over 500 is not affected by the energetic frequency of others. They're now able to affect rooms full and cities full of people by operating in this frequency. There's a reason that I do the rituals that I do. And by rituals, I'm literally telling you, like, the way that I live my life is devotion. It's a ritual. My personal experience of sitting at my makeup table in the morning and crafting something beautiful, the jewelry that I wear, the way I do my hair, the clothing that I put on, the things in my home. It's a ritual to open a portal. The walking in the woods, the getting in the water, showering, my nails being a certain way, It opens the portal. This is why to post a picture of the next top makeup palette, I was like, oh my God, I cannot. It's falling so flat to me. Like I can't describe beauty this way for people. I can't encourage women to put on makeup because I think that they're less than. Because the truth is, I don't wear makeup every day. My worth isn't dependent on whether I can contour that day or not. It's not dependent. I do my makeup as an art form. It's an energetic portal for me. It's relaxing. It's intuitive. It's imaginative. But before it can become intuitive, artistic, and imaginative, like things go from skill to art. Write that in the comments. From skill to art. From skill to art. This is the nature of life. It's like if you wanted to build a house, right? You have to understand the skill of building a house before you can be artful at it. I think about silly things like brushing my teeth, right? Like when I was a little kid, like brushing my teeth, it was a skill I had to learn at first. Like you're kind of messing up your gums, you're jabbing your toothbrush the wrong way, like you're not getting all the crevices, right? It's like a skill you have to practice. You have to understand why you're doing what you're doing. Why do you do the toothpaste and then rinse and then swish? Like why am I doing what I'm doing? It starts as a skill. And then you do it for a while. And now like I can full blown like sexily, sensually brush my teeth. It's like an art. I have phone conversations with my toothbrush in my mouth because I know how to navigate it. It's now an art. It's an experience. And it's something that I enjoy. I legitimately just brushed my teeth before I came on live because I like the way it tastes. Brush my teeth with baking soda. I love the feeling. It polishes my teeth. It's art. I stand for specifically women. I mean, I'm a legacy thinker. I'm by no means a man hater. I am a legacy thinker, but I specifically stand for women. Women living, acting, buying, and making their influential impact on the planet from a very soul empowered and high frequency place. I firmly now believe, it's taken me a year to get to the place of talking about it, but I firmly, firmly, firmly believe that our sensuality, our willingness to tap into the five senses and make them important, luxury, letting ourselves enjoy our freaking lives. You get one. Like, let yourself enjoy it. Don't be in such a rush. Beauty, like our choice to be a temple, our choice to adorn ourselves in art. And our personal rituals around all of this that open the portal, it matters. In my opinion, in my experience, in my evolution, it matters. For someone who's very masculine led, this may sound crazy, but for the person who's like, no, I want next level, like connection. I want intuition. I want to enjoy the moments. I want to eat the moments. This makes perfect sense. It lands 100%. I've never understood it this way before, but remember I said power versus force? The old masculine paradigm of manipulating, of pushing, of structuring, of shoving, of making it happen, grinding, hustle. Like, it's an old paradigm. It's force. It's force. When you cross that 500 barrier of emotions, tap into the higher frequencies, art and beauty are the portal up there. You don't have to force things anymore. Real power sits at 510. Magnetism. You don't have to shove people. You don't have to manipulate people. You don't have to coerce people. You don't have to make people feel like a piece of trash in order for them to want to buy your thing. You don't have to point out their idiosyncrasies and what's wrong with them so that they buy your stuff. Real power is at a higher frequency. This week, we're going to talk about the feminine sales process. We're going to talk about magnetism. We're going to talk about intentionality with your personal brands. That's days 3, 4, and 5. Today and tomorrow, we're just talking beauty. We're talking about sensuality, worthiness, intentionality, luxury, permission, breaking out of the old paradigm, and us being really the ambassadors for like an open heaven. Didn't plan on saying that part. I believe that beauty and art are the tangible gateway. They're the portal to power, to ascension, to wealth, to connection. Yeah. And speaking of luxury, this is the part of the masterclass where we're going to open up a luxury buying experience. I promise you that I am not here to make you feel less than. I'm opening up an invitation for you to understand the skill and then the art of beauty rituals. I'm so pleased to have you experience buying this way, because right now your energetic state is empowered. You're feeling inspired. Some of your intuition is turning on for the first time. And you're realizing that maybe you have a craving to have more beauty and more art in your life. And so if this is the moment that you're like, I prefer not to buy anything today, you may shut me off. If you're curious about a luxury buying experience and you want to understand the feminine sales process a little better, you should probably stay and just witness it. And if you're the person that's like, you know what, I don't feel confident that necessarily like this, doing this to my face would be relaxing for me because I don't really know how. This is your moment. So everything in life goes from skill to an art. If you really want to masterfully do something beautiful in your life, if you want to learn to paint, there's a skill first. You learn how to mix colors. You learn the color wheel. You learn how to sculpt. Anyone here ever take a sculpting class? Can you hashtag the word sculpting if you've ever sculpted before? I'm obsessed with sculpting. I used to be a full-blown sculptor, like bas-reliefs. Love sculpting. Not a huge fan of pottery. It gets a little bit boring, but I like sculpting pictures, like from a flat slab. I love that. I love sculpting. And a part of that is like having the tools. There's specific clay tools for sculpting. It's It's specific. There's specific tools. There's a specific approach. If you let it go dry overnight, it cracks. Like, you have to keep it wet. Like, there's all these little nuances that you don't know when you start, but you can pick them up really fast, especially if you have a master sculptor as a teacher. My approach to sculpting, my approach to painting is the same way that I approach makeup. I used to teach makeup coming from being a celebrity makeup artist first, and then I would curate programs for the general populace and make them as inclusive as possible. And in the words of my old mentors, dumb it down, speak Walmart, make it accessible for everyone. And that's not the way that I want to speak on or do makeup. Because I believe that the brilliance in me speaks to the brilliance in other women. I believe that the sensual, luxury, intentional artist in me speaks to that in other women. And on the way to becoming masterful at creating beauty in your life, it's like you learn the practices, you learn the steps. That being the case, we have a luxury offer for you today. Every single day, you're going to find a way that you can get something from us. Now, I do these free masterclasses because there's the possibility that there are people that will never have occasion to work with me on a very close level. My masterminds and my one-to-one coaching, they're thousands of dollars a month, and I have programs that range anywhere from $1,000 all the way down to a couple $100. We have everything in between. And then we have free masterclass content because I truly believe that no matter where you are in your journey, women are worthy of connecting to messages like this. So today you are learning a free masterclass. The next opportunity that you would have to really artistically master beauty, the things that I do to my face from a makeup artist perspective, it is an offer that is open right now in pre-sale. The total retail price of this is going to be $555. For today and tomorrow, the promotional pricing inside this container is $444. It is called Elite Turbo Glam. It is a 6-month access membership to our private community that shows women step by step, artistically, the tools, the supplies, the colors, the sculpting, the contouring, the choosing of color palettes. There's over 60 tutorials inside of our educational community. And the purpose of it is to go from skill to art. On average, inside of a container like this, a program like this, we do 30-day challenges, and women that come in with a skill level of around maybe a 2 out of 10 are masterful at makeup artistry inside of 30 days. I take my whole brain around makeup artistry and I've turned it into bite-sized video content pieces. They average under 15 minutes a piece that you can consume over a month. You can practice. There's tons of encouragement. And we teach you how to actually do the skill, because once you understand the skill, it becomes an art. You get to be creative. You get to be as personally expressive as you want. You can try the colors that you want. You can have the confidence to know that really anything that you want to execute, you'll know how to. And then it's just a matter of, what kind of art do I want to be today? The benefits of being inside of Elite Turbo Glam are the following. You've got about 60 pieces of tutorial content that are high class. They're beautiful. And it's not just my face. Our team helps to make them too. So you'll see it on different eye shapes and different faces, which is really lovely. But you also get access to first access whenever we launch a new product. So oftentimes our products will sell out inside that container. So the world at large never even finds out about them because it sells out inside of that container, inside of that private group. When I say container, I mean the private group. The next thing is you get perks. Every month we do big prizes. We just gave away, I think, $250 in cosmetics last month for our prizes. Tons of encouragement. Our team monitors that particular group Monday through Friday. So if you have a makeup question or a beauty question or a how-to question or like, hey, I want to send a selfie and be like, did I do this right? You have support and encouragement there. It's an absolute empowerment zone, feminine-led, no bullying zone. It's a freaking vibe. And you get 5% off site-wide for the duration of your 6-month membership. The perk of joining now is during this masterclass, when you join right now at $444, price will be going up in 48 hours, I believe. It's going up to $555. When you join right now, we have something so exciting for you. As a celebrity makeup artist, there were 6 colors that I bought over and over and over again. 6 specific shades that I would keep on my makeup table. And I bought them over and over again. I took them to every shoot. I took them to everything. Like I took them everywhere. They were my 6 shades. And with those 6 shades, I could contour, sculpt, basically accentuate and bring forward the artistry of a person's face. And they're universal. So they work on every age range. They work on every nationality. It's like the top 6 colors. And when we launched our beauty line called XMH Beauty, we created a 6-color contour palette that is, in my opinion, the first product that every one of our clients ought to have in their personal artist bag. It retails for $74 and you're getting it with your membership. Membership's on pre-sale right now. So first, you get the contour palette. Next, I talked about sculpting. I talked about painting. So you can imagine if you're a painter and you have like watercolor brushes for a 4-year-old, your picture is going to come out a lot differently than if you have like an expert series artist lineup, correct? The right tools, the right sponges, the right everything. We also launched what is, in my opinion, a non-negotiable that makes your artistry and your mastery of makeup so much easier. It makes it a luxury, intentional experience versus a frustration putting your makeup on. It's an 11-piece brush set, expert series. They're the brushes they're the ones that I would do a face with. They're the ones I use on my own face every day. They retail at $177. Those are also coming with your membership. The third piece is the way that I apply foundation to me is so important, like a face, like the base of it, so important. We have something called a Blender Babe, and it helps to put your makeup on in such a way that feels and kind of executes more airbrush. So less mask, more skin, if you know what I mean. If you don't like that masky, heavy feeling, you also get one of those. So the retail value of what you're getting as gifts with purchase this week is just over $250. And your membership is $444 in pre-sale right now. So my team is available if you're someone who's like, I want to master this. I want access to this group for the next 6 months. I want to claim all of my bonuses. I want it to ship to me this week. Put the word link in the comments and our team will follow up with you and make sure that you can get your hands on this. What I want you to understand about this offer is it's limited. So we just received in 500 of the contour palette. It's going to be sold first to this container. So this masterclass. Right after this masterclass, I have another masterclass in a completely different space. And we're not putting the contour palette for sale by itself on our website until we go through this entire masterclass and the next one. So to purchase it on its own is not even possible right now. But once the 500 are gone, they are gone. And these are the clients that I will be working with for Q2, Q3, going into Q4. We will not be restocking this contour palette probably for a good 90 more days. So if you have this feeling inside of like, I think I do want to understand the artistry of makeup. I do want to have this experience daily of tapping into luxury, of being walking art and not doing my makeup because I think that there's something wrong with me, but because it's personal expression. It's a luxury experience. It's me tapping into the portal every morning, stepping into a luxury vortex, being intentional about my personal expression and even my brand. I'm so proud to offer this to you. So ladies, that is a luxury buying experience. No one is made to feel less than. It's actually quite inspiring. The offer is open and there's no pressure. Only hype and excitement because there's a time frame. It's limited. It's only $444 right now. In 48 hours, the price goes up. And you have lots of juicy bonuses to claim. If you just know, like, yes, I want to be walking art. I want to be walking art. All right, ladies. This is our day one. I will say, on a spiritual level, on an intellectual level, and on a beauty level, we have empowered hundreds of women since we began XMH Beauty. We've empowered hundreds of women to tap into their personal expression, their artistry, their feminine rituals. And this typically happens inside of our 30-day cycles in that private group called Elite Turbo Glam. The next 30-day challenge, and we'll run a couple of them between now and the end of the year, but the next one, it starts on July 5th. So should you choose to select to pick up Elite Turbo Glam today while it's in pre-sale, your items will ship to you inside this week. And the next 30-day cycle of learning together. I mean, you can be self-led, you can cherry pick between the videos and you can do it at your own pace. But if you like doing things with the community, if you like doing it with empowerment in a group, the next one starts on July 5th. So if any of this is calling you, just know that that piece is time sensitive. We'll be hosting another challenge starting on July 5th. So you'll want to ship your things now. So that is today. Check the guide section if you're also looking for the link or you want to just reread through all those details. I'm happy to share. You can also tag Jessie Ferguson from our team or Rebecca Isabel from our team. If you have more questions, they'll certainly help you. And ladies, that was day one of our masterclass. Thank you so much for being here. I cannot wait to go deeper tomorrow. And invite a friend. Share our graphic. Invite a friend that you think needs to hear this message because we have a drawing happening tomorrow. Okay, bye guys.